There is something about you that the world cannot explain. Have you noticed how adversity seems to approach you but never consumes you? It's as if you are surrounded by an invisible barrier that repels every attempt at destruction. This is no coincidence, it is intentional. Your presence unsettles those who do not understand what you carry. But what they fail to realize is that, in trying to attack you, they merely trigger a series of events that end up working against them. It's like a spiritual law: what is done against you returns to those who attempted it. The chosen ones are made of a different material. The type of resilience you possess is not built by human effort but forged by a celestial fire that does not consume but purifies. While others struggle, you remain at peace, knowing the battle was never yours to fight. Victory, after all, has never been about physical strength or earthly strategy. It has always been, and will always be, about who stands by your side. And on your side is a force that no weapon, conspiracy, or malicious word can defeat. The whisper in the dead of night, the quiet assurance that something much greater is at play even when human eyes cannot see it. It's the mystery of being guarded, protected, and lifted by a divine hand that moves mountains without a sound. Here's the point: your silence was not weakness, it was divine strategy. And now, as your enemies find themselves lost, confused, and facing the consequences of their own actions, you are being prepared for a new level of glory. The only question left is, are you ready to embrace the next chapter? The judgment has already begun, carrying an intensity that echoes both spiritually and physically. Every venomous word hurled at you, every scheme crafted in the dark, every attempt to dim your light now resonates in a heavenly court where no action escapes the gaze of the all-seeing one. Your enemies, so confident in their ability to manipulate circumstances, now face the inescapable consequences of their own deeds. This isn't about revenge, but about a reckoning, a divine alignment that corrects injustice and restores balance to the universe. What once seemed like an irreparable loss in your life is being restored, but not in the same measure. It's coming back multiplied, greater and more meaningful. It's as if a dam of blessings has been released, flooding everything around you with the abundance they tried to steal. A mist of confusion now envelopes those who dared to challenge you. You can see it in their eyes, in the way they move. They do not understand what is happening. They, who carefully plotted traps for you, now find themselves ensnared in a web of their own lies and deceit. Wandering like zombies, they appear lost, desperately trying to grasp something that eludes them, you. They cannot find you, not because you have disappeared, but because you have been elevated to a realm where their malicious intentions cannot reach. This confusion is no accident, it is the exact consequence of coming against something that transcends human understanding. Because, you see, to attack a chosen one is to challenge a divine purpose. And in challenging that purpose, they confront a force they cannot comprehend, let alone defeat. Remember how they tried to humiliate you, how their words and actions were carefully designed to publicly shame you. Now, see how it all turns against them. What was meant to be your downfall is becoming the foundation of your exaltation. The shame they wanted to see on your face has turned into fuel refining the gold within you. Every attack, every attempt to bring you down, every whispered conspiracy in the dark has transformed into steps that lead you closer to the destiny God had already prepared. While they flail in despair, facing the ashes of their own mistakes, you rise, strengthened by a force they will never understand. It is the great reversal, a divine manifestation that turns humiliation into glory and defeat into eternal triumph. When God removed you from certain people and places, it might have felt like abandonment, but it was, in fact, protection. He knew the environment around you was not ready to sustain the extraordinary purpose He is developing within you. You were hidden, like a raw diamond, protected until the right time to be revealed in all its brilliance. This separation was strategic, not just for your preservation but so that those who sought your downfall would be consumed by their inability to reach you. Now, they desperately search for you, but it's as if you exist in a realm beyond human sight. Meanwhile, in the silence and solitude of your separation, God was shaping you, preparing the stage for your grand reintroduction, and when it happens, it will be impossible to ignore who you have become. The victory you experience now is not ordinary, it is absolute transformation. It is not merely a response to the attacks you endured, but a redefinition of who you are. What once seemed unbearable has become the fertile ground from which your strength emerges. The losses, the challenges, the moments of doubt and pain, all of it is being used to create a version of you that is unbreakable. This is not about merely surviving, it is about being molded into something that reflects divine purpose. As you look around, you notice how the landscape has changed. You didn't just endure, you emerged stronger, wiser, and more complete. Your life now stands as proof that what God protects, no one can destroy. You didn't just win the battle, you became the victory. You never had to lift a finger because the battle was not yours. The one who chose you, the one who guards you, had already written the outcome before it began. The silence you maintained was not omission but a declaration of faith and trust. Your enemies, accustomed to immediate responses and retaliation, never expected that your lack of reaction would, in fact, be the most powerful force in action. Every ignored provocation was like a spark igniting divine judgment. Now, as they scramble to understand why everything has fallen apart, you move forward with peace, knowing that your victory was not the result of human effort but of heavenly intervention. What seemed like inaction was, in truth, divine strategy, leaving them completely disarmed. The humiliation you faced was not an end but a beginning. Every look of disdain, every word laced with venom, was recorded by a God who never overlooks the pain of his chosen ones. The momentary shame not only strengthened your soul but also set the stage for your elevation. It is as if you were planted in barren soil, only to bloom abundantly when least expected. Now, what seemed like defeat has become testimony, a reminder that those who humble themselves before God are exalted before the world. Your enemies, who laughed at your fall, now watch in bewilderment as you rise, stronger and brighter than ever before. There is an invisible force guiding your every step. You've noticed it in the small things, doors that close only for far greater ones to open. The places where you faced rejection have turned into blessings in disguise, and the relationships that ended were replaced by connections that truly matter. You were set apart, not as a punishment, but as a divine strategy to protect and refine what is most precious within you. Like gold being purified in fire, your soul was molded in silence, away from prying eyes and envious hearts. This separation was necessary because your calling is far too great to be stifled by mediocre environments. Now, the world will witness what God has been preparing in secret. Your enemies still don't understand what has happened. They underestimated the power of silence, the depth of patience, and the strength of a soul connected to the divine. While they were busy devising attacks and strategies, you were being kept in a place where human hands could not reach. They expected you to defend yourself, but you trusted. They expected you to retaliate, but you rested. And that was what completely disarmed them. Their confusion is not merely a result of their own errors, it reflects a higher plan that never fails. They sought to defeat you but ended up facing the judgment they had intended for you. The victory you now experience is more than a personal achievement, it's a proclamation of who is in control. Everything that happened was allowed for a greater purpose, and now you understand that even the trials had a reason. Every tear shed, every sleepless night, every doubt has been transformed into a solid foundation for what is to come. You didn't just survive, you triumphed in a way that transcends human expectations. What remains now is to walk in this new level of authority, knowing that your life is a living testimony of God's transformative power. The battle was won before it even began, and the glory is not just yours, it is evidence of a kingdom that operates beyond what the eyes can see. You are hidden for a reason. When God decides to protect someone, He doesn't just raise barriers but also employs the strategy of silence and invisibility. While your enemies searched every corner, trying to figure out where you were or how they could reach you, God placed you in a space beyond their grasp. This separation was like a divine pause, an opportunity for your essence to be renewed and your vision to be expanded. During this time, they were left entangled in their own schemes, trapped in an endless cycle of confusion. Meanwhile, you rested under the wings of the one who knows the end from the beginning. And now, as you emerge from this hiding place, you are unrecognizable to those who once believed they could limit you. The humiliation you experienced was a powerful tool in God's hands. It wasn't a defeat but a test that revealed the character of everyone around you. While others laughed and judged, you remained silent, allowing actions to speak louder than any words. But, you see, God always uses what seems like the lowest point to manifest His highest glory. Today, those who mocked you are wondering how you managed to rise in such a remarkable way. But you know, it wasn't your strength or your ability, it was divine favor that turned what was meant to be your ruin into a solid foundation for your ascension. Before we continue, if you feel alone and misunderstood as a chosen one, our ebook is a valuable resource. Find guidance to illuminate your path and understand your unique gifts. Get it now and gain access to our exclusive Discord community, where you will find support and understanding. Join us and share your experiences in a welcoming space. Plus, get access to unique and exclusive content. Check out the first pinned comment here on the video. Have you noticed how doors have opened in ways you never imagined? Even the most painful losses, the ones that seemed irreparable, serve to align your path with something much greater. God was removing what wasn't necessary, cutting away the excess, to prepare you for something far more powerful. And while this was happening, your enemies were busy trying to understand why their efforts against you failed to prosper. What they don't realize is that you weren't just being protected, you were being positioned. What seemed like a time of pause was, in fact, a period of construction, and now you are ready to walk into a dimension they cannot reach. The confusion of your enemies is almost tangible. They meticulously planned every detail of their actions, believing their strategies were foolproof. But what they forgot is that you do not walk alone. There is a force that goes before you, removing obstacles before you even see them. This force not only protects but also reverses, using the enemy's actions against themselves. While they wonder why nothing worked, you walk with steady steps, knowing your journey is being guided. Their confusion isn't the result of bad luck but of a plan that has always been beyond their control. And to them, this is incomprehensible. Now, you find yourself in a place where the impact of their attacks no longer matters. Your position has been elevated, not because you sought it, but because you were prepared for it. God set you apart, molded you, and now presents you to the world in a way no one can ignore. Every struggle you faced, every tear you shed, every silent doubt has been transformed into fuel for the greater purpose ahead of you. You are no longer the same person you were at the beginning of this battle. And more importantly, you understand that everything happened for a reason. Now, your enemies witness your victory as you walk into a territory prepared exclusively for you. The position you now hold is no accident, it's the result of divine planning. Before you even realized it, every detail was being worked out in your favor. The lost connections, the places you were removed from, and even the moments of solitude were all essential pieces of this puzzle. God knew you couldn't grow in an environment that stifled your potential, so He reorganized your life to bring you into a space where you could flourish. Now, with every step you take, you feel that freedom, the freedom of someone who has been pulled from the shadows and placed into the light. The most remarkable part? You realize you didn't have to fight for it, it was all given to you because it was part of a greater plan. Those who tried to harm you, unknowingly, worked in your favor. The stones they threw became the foundation upon which you are building something new. It's like a silent lesson for the world. No one can stop the progress of someone protected by a higher power. They thought they were in control, that they could manipulate your journey, but every attempt to bring you down only strengthened the purpose over your life. Now, as they watch your ascension, they are forced to confront the reality that they were never truly your adversaries, they were up against something far greater. They challenged the divine without realizing it, and they lost before the battle even began. Silence was your greatest weapon. Not responding to the attacks, not giving in to the temptation to retaliate, was what disarmed your enemies. They expected shouts, confrontations, perhaps even a breakdown. But what they encountered was a peace they couldn't comprehend. That silence wasn't weakness, it was strength. A strength that came from knowing you were being defended by something greater. Your enemies were defeated not by your hand, but by the weight of divine justice. Every attempt to destabilize you became an opportunity for you to stand even firmer. And now, as they face the consequences of their own actions, you walk with a serenity that only those with true purpose can carry. Look back at everything you've been through and see how it has shaped you. The losses, the rejections, the silent battles, all these experiences were like fire refining gold. Nothing was in vain. Every moment of pain had a purpose, even if you couldn't see it at the time. Now, with a renewed perspective, you understand that these difficulties were not meant to destroy you but to prepare you. Today, you are stronger, wiser, and more aware of what you carry. That strength isn't just for you, it's a living testimony to those watching your journey. You are proof that, with divine protection, even the darkest moments can be transformed into light. And here you stand, higher than you've ever been, more aware than you've ever been. The journey wasn't easy, but it was necessary. Every step, every twist, every pause was part of a meticulously designed plan. Now, you understand that your victory is not just over the enemies who tried to bring you down, but over the doubt, fear, and limitations that once held you back. You have won, and your victory echoes far beyond you. It is a declaration to the world that nothing can stop the one who has been chosen, set apart, and protected. And what's next? Only more confirmations that the best is yet to come. Have you noticed how your dreams have changed? Perhaps, in the silence of the night, you've received visions that felt more real than anything experienced during the day. This isn't a coincidence, it's confirmation that something greater is communicating with you. These messages are not just meant to encourage you but to prepare you. They are directions, reminders that you are on the right path. While your enemies stumble in darkness, searching for answers they will never find, you receive clear instructions. Every dream, every vision, every profound feeling in your spirit is proof that you are connected to something far greater than this world can comprehend. It is this level of spiritual intimacy that secures your victory. But confirmation doesn't only come in dreams, it's also found in the small details of everyday life. In the way unexpected doors open, how seemingly unsolvable problems find solutions, or how the right people enter your life at just the right time. These small miracles are reminders that you are being guided by invisible hands. Meanwhile, your enemies continue to search for ways to understand your resilience, not realizing that the secret is beyond human reach. It's a divine dance, where every move is calculated to take you to places you never imagined and to frustrate those who attempt to stop you. There is a special weight in being chosen, and it includes a call to mercy. While divine justice operates against your enemies, there is a voice whispering in your heart, pray for them. Not because they deserve it, but because true greatness lies in offering compassion even to those who hurt you. This is one of the greatest signs of your spiritual strength, the ability to forgive, even when the world cries out for revenge. It's a difficult but necessary calling. Because in forgiving, you not only free others, you free yourself. And this freedom, this lightness of soul, is what elevates you even higher, while your enemies remain trapped in their own darkness. Now, imagine the confusion of your adversaries. They cannot understand how you continue to shine, how you keep moving forward, how every attempt to stop you only seems to propel you further. To them, it's a mystery. To you, it's living evidence of what it means to be protected and guided by God. Every obstacle they placed in your path has turned into a stepping stone. Every curse they spoke over you has become a blessing in your life. And now, as they face the consequences of their choices, you walk with authority, knowing you are exactly where you're meant to be. The road is clear, and the path is yours. Victory, however, is not just about what you have overcome, it's about who you have become. You are living proof that suffering can be transformed into strength, that humiliation can be reversed into glory, and that no human plan can thwart divine purpose. Look at yourself, you are more resilient, wiser, and more connected to what truly matters. What others tried to destroy, God used to build. And now, as you move forward, there is no doubt that you are only beginning to see the fruits of everything that has been sown. That is the beauty of being a chosen one. No matter how much they try to stop you, you will always thrive. When you reflect on what you've been through, you realize that nothing was wasted. Every tear, every sleepless night, every moment of doubt was used to shape your journey in ways you're only beginning to understand. It wasn't easy, but it was necessary. What seemed like a detour was, in fact, a divine shortcut, leading you to a place you could never have found on your own. This is the essence of being chosen. Even when everything seems lost, there is a greater purpose at work in your life. Your enemies don't understand this because they are trapped in a limited perspective. But you, guided by something greater, now see clearly that even the difficulties contributed to your victory. And it wasn't just a victory over your enemies. It was a victory over the parts of yourself that needed transformation. External battles often reveal internal struggles, and you faced both with courage. There is something powerful about recognizing that the greatest changes happen within us. Every challenge you overcame made you stronger, wiser, and more focused on what truly matters. Your enemies thought they were weakening you, but they only helped unleash your true strength. Now, they look at you with a mixture of admiration and confusion, unable to comprehend how someone who faced so much could emerge so empowered. There is a sense of freedom that comes with spiritual victory. You realize you are no longer controlled by the opinions of others, by the attacks that once paralyzed you, or by the fears that used to haunt you. You've been freed from all of that. Now, you walk with a quiet confidence, knowing you are exactly where you're meant to be. This freedom isn't just a gift to you, it's also a testimony to those who watch you. They see the transformation and are inspired by it, even if they don't fully understand its source. Your life now serves as a beacon, illuminating the path for others facing their own battles. Your enemies, on the other hand, are trapped in a cycle of their own making. Every plan they crafted against you has turned against them, and every attempt to harm you only pushed them further away from their goals. This is what happens when someone comes against a chosen one. They are not just fighting you, they are opposing something far greater. And that is a battle they can never win. As you move forward, they are left behind, ensnared in their own traps, trying to understand how everything went so wrong. But you don't need to look back. What lies ahead is far greater than anything left behind. Now, you stand in a place where peace reigns. It's not the absence of challenges but the presence of an unshakable confidence that you can overcome anything. This peace is the fruit of your connection with the divine, a connection that has been strengthened by every experience you've faced. Your enemies may try to understand this peace, but they never will. Because it doesn't come from the world or from circumstances, it comes from something much greater. And it is this peace that guides you, strengthens you, and prepares you for what's next. You didn't just win, you were transformed. And this transformation is something no one can take from you. Now, the scene has completely changed. What once seemed like an endless battle has become a scene of victory. Your enemies, who were once so determined to bring you down, now watch in silence, unable to understand what has happened. They expected to see an end, but what they witness is a glorious beginning. While they sink into their own confusion, you are stepping into new territory, prepared exclusively for you. This is not the result of luck or human effort, it is the manifestation of a purpose that has always been above any opposing force. You are chosen not just to survive but to thrive, and this is more evident now than ever. Look at your journey so far and see how much it has transformed you, not just in terms of strength or resilience but in depth and wisdom. Every battle you faced was not only won but taught you something that is now a part of who you are. You are no longer the same person who began this journey. Your enemies may recognize your victory, but they will never understand what it cost or what it means. Because your transformation is something only you and God fully know. And it is this transformation that places you on a level where the attacks of the past no longer have power. There is a unique power in walking with the certainty that you are protected. It's not arrogance but a quiet confidence that comes from knowing nothing happens outside of the divine plan. This is something the chosen carry with them, and it deeply confuses those who don't understand. Your enemies have no idea how you remain so steadfast in the face of storms. But you know that your strength doesn't come from yourself. It comes from a place they cannot reach, and that's what makes your journey so extraordinary. While they remain trapped in cycles of trial and error, you move forward, knowing you are being guided by something greater. But don't be mistaken, the journey isn't over yet. Each victory is a step towards something even greater, and you feel it in your spirit. There is a calling on your life that transcends anything you've experienced so far. this is just the beginning. And this certainty not only drives you but also gives you the patience to wait for the right moment. Because you know that everything has its time and that the promises made to you are being fulfilled, one by one. This patience sets you apart, because while others rush for immediate results, you walk with purpose, knowing every step is bringing you closer to your destiny. Now, your enemies face a reality they cannot change. They underestimated you, judged you, and tried to destroy you, but all they achieved was to confront the power that protects you. And you, instead of responding in kind, chose to trust. That trust was your greatest weapon because, while they fought with empty hands, you were strengthened by something they could never comprehend. The most remarkable thing is that, even after all they've done, your victory wasn't just over them but also over the limitations that once held you back. Now, you move forward, stronger, wiser, and more prepared than ever. The final victory is not just a moment, it's a state of being. You are in a place where the words of others no longer carry weight, where the plans against you become irrelevant, and where your very presence is a living declaration of purpose. God didn't just protect you, He prepared you for this exact moment. Every step you take now is filled with meaning, and every move you make is guided by a force that transcends human logic. Your enemies have no choice but to watch. They planned your end, but what they witness is the beginning of something they will never be able to stop. In the midst of it all, there is a peace that surrounds you. Not the peace that comes from the absence of challenges, but the peace that arises from unshakable trust in the one who stands by your side. It's a peace that confuses those who watch you, because, despite everything they've tried, they couldn't take it away from you. This peace is not just a gift, it's a weapon. Because while they struggle with their own confusion, you move forward in silence, knowing you've already won. It's this quiet confidence that sets the chosen apart from others. It's not something that can be explained, it's something that must be lived. The next chapter of your journey is just beginning. And this chapter won't be defined by the limitations imposed by others or the circumstances of the past. It will be defined by the purpose planted within you long before you even realized it. Now, every step you take is aligned with that purpose. You are no longer the person who started this journey, you are someone transformed, refined, and prepared for something much greater. Your enemies don't understand this, but it doesn't matter. Because you're no longer walking to prove something to them, you're walking because you know who you are. As you move forward, there is a message your life communicates. It tells the world that battles can be won without fighting in your own strength, that divine justice never fails, and that those who trust in something greater are never left behind. Your journey is a testimony to those who are still in the midst of their struggles. They look at you and see what's possible, and it inspires them to keep going. Because your victory isn't just yours, it's a reflection of what happens when someone remains faithful, even when everything around them seems to be falling apart. And now, you find yourself on the threshold of something extraordinary. The past no longer holds power over you, your enemies can no longer reach you, and the future is full of possibilities. You are in a place of authority, not just over your life but as a living example of what it means to be chosen. And as you walk forward, remember that this journey is only the beginning of something even greater. The victory you experience now is just a glimpse of what is yet to come. Because when God is in control, the best is always ahead. If this content touched your heart and spoke directly to your soul, don't forget to hit the like button below and subscribe now. Also, activate notifications to ensure you don't miss any of the transformative content we have prepared for you. Share this video with someone you know who needs to hear this message. And leave your comments below, we want to hear your story, your reflections, and what resonated with you the most. For those who wish to further support this work, consider supporting us through Buy Me a Coffee. Your contribution enables us to continue spreading words of strength, faith, and purpose to more people around the world. Before you go, don't miss the recommended video on the screen. It connects directly with everything we've shared today and is the perfect continuation of this conversation. Remember, the journey doesn't end here, and you are never alone. Move forward with confidence. See you in the next video, and until next time.